Hi, this is Bobby Curnow, Chief Turtle Editor at IDW Publishing, and you are going to have a shell of a good time inside the pull bag.
Welcome to The Pull Bags, Back Issue Classics. Join us as we talk about comics from yesteryear, from DC, Marvel, and more. So open your ears to hear our discussion of the older continuities, as the Back Issue Classics are also what's in the Pull Bag.
Very well. I have my own mutants. Bebop, Rocksteady, destroy them!
Oh, with great pleasure, Master Shredder.
Hello and welcome to the Pull Bag Back Issue Classics, episode 60... Crap, I just did the math on this. Episode 63 for Back Issue Classics. I'm one of your hosts, Steve, Joe, and Mike. And joining me is Joe Reed. Hello.
Hello!
Time travel gives me a headache.
It certainly does in this issue. I'm thankful for this issue, ultimately, because of what happened. I can't wait to go through this a second time with you now.
Yeah.
What I have kicking around in my head, if I say it out loud now, it's basically a summary for this entire issue. So it's I don't want to say it yet.
Yeah. I am super thrilled that this series has done as well as it has, as far as the writing, as far as the art. I mean, I think it's fun. And if people will notice in the editing, I know Joe won't notice because Joe doesn't listen to podcasts that much, especially with his own voice on them. But and that's fine, because I listen to this stuff in the editing. So once I figure out, okay, final product, that's ready to go, done. I don't ever go back and listen to half the crap anyway. But anyway, so hopefully people have been listening to the Bebop and Rocksteady reviews, because I was trying to find a way to get Bebop and Rocksteady audio in the episodes. And I know people are probably sick of it by now, but the only one I can continually use is James Avery as Shredder. Very well, I have my own mutants. Bebop, Rocksteady, get out here. Destroy them. Whatever you say, Master Shredder. And then at the end of it, I put the ones where Rocksteady goes, "Oh, and we was just starting to have fun." I really, in the last one, I should put that up against Toka. Master, say have fun!
With Frank Welker.
Okay, so we're going to go through and spoil the hell out of everything for Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything number 4. And after that, at the end of this, we're going to go back to the August solicitations, because I don't remember if we ever did those. I really don't. I'm sorry, folks, if we already have. And then we're also going to talk about the September solicitations, because the September solicitations from IDW just came out as we recorded this. By the time this episode goes up next week, it'll be way past embargo, so the turtle people at IDW won't make me into turtle soup, so that's good. So yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady, Destroy Everything, number 4. We have yet another piece of Nick Batara's overall giant time travel cover. In this section of it, you've got Renette, you've got Leo, you've got these other mutants, you've got Pizza, and all that kind of stuff.
I can't remember that dude's name. That's not simultaneous. What's his name? The bad guy.
Yeah, I remember off the top of my head.
Oh my gosh, it's fallen out of my head. We have baby turtles there.
Yep.
Bebop's playing drums that we can kind of see on the backs of turtle shells.
Mm-hmm. So we got that cover. We got the subscription cover, which is cool.
That's Ben Bates. Interesting style. You know what? The turtles on this cover are based on the action figures. I just realized that. It's kind of a mix between the action figures and the way that they've looked with Leo's arms. But all the weapons are brown, like they were on the cover of the action figure and they were in the toys. So that's kind of interesting.
So before we get too far into this, I wanted to bring this up. I don't know if you saw this. I posted it to you on Facebook. I don't know if you ever looked at it. About a week ago, before this even happened, when was this published? It doesn't say off at the right at the top, but Retcon Punch, retcon-punch.com, posted an interview called "Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything: Anatomy of Destruction" with Damien Cicero. And in this, they ask him about the mutants that we saw at the end of issue 3.
Sorry, no turtle waxing today.
All right, we really wiped the floor with those floor wipers, huh?
So in this interview, Redcon Punch asks Damien the question of, there's a ton of new character designs late in this issue. This is issue 3. This is last issue, folks. When the mutants break free and when April and the SWAT team starts to mutate, how involved were you in those designs? Did Dustin, Weaver, and Ben Bates ask for any mutants in particular, or did they leave the specifics up to you? What was your favorite design to play around with here? And Damien's answer is, Dustin and Ben asked for those new mutants in particular. They designed a couple of them, and the rest are actually classic TMNT characters that I was asked to redesign. They are Scumbug, Wingnut, and Screwloose.
Yeah, Scumbug, the action figure.
Yep. I enjoyed designing them a lot, but I think Scumbug was the one I enjoyed the most. So those are the 3 mutants that we predominantly see in issue 3. So back to issue 4 here. We open with... okay, so before... Obviously, Ben Bates, Dustin Weaver on stories. Dustin's on script. The art on page 1 is done by Dustin. Pages 2, 5 to 7, and 10 and 11 are Nick Batara's art. Ben Tiesma is pages 3 and 4 and 8 and 9, and Damien Cicero is pages 12 and 13. Pablo Tunica, is pages 14 to 15. Tad Galusha is pages 3 and 4 with 8 and 9. This is basically, folks, this is the 4th issue. There are a ton of artists on this issue.
Man, I didn't even notice that, That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job. And I think don't notice it because they pop out of a time tunnel and it's different art. So it doesn't jar you because you kind of expect it.
Yep. So we open with Bebop and Rocksteady continuing to argue from last issue. And this is where they split. And this is where they both go off and have their own time adventures. What do you think of this angle to the story?
This ended up getting to be a lot of fun. This issue went by really quick reading it too, but they're in the time tunnels. They're having their debate, and really at this point, I don't know which time versions of the characters are in that car together. We have pre-mutated Bebop and Rocksteady and post-mutated Bebop and Rocksteady, but last issue there were 2 sets of each. And now this is just one set. They're fighting, and then Rocksteady and Rocksteady jump out of the car with their own time scepter and start poking holes.
Yep.
And it's so that in the page after that, we're in the year 2110. Bebop and Bebop are hanging out, and oh my gosh, they're just starting fights and screwing things up.
Okay, so the Bebop page.
Love the art in that.
I love the art in it, but here's the thing. As this page progresses, essentially, folks, they're at the TMNT version of the Cantina. Mm-hmm. Essentially. So Star Wars meets TMNT. The first thing I see when mutated Bebop is sitting next to this guy, I'm like, hey, the Iron Giant got his stomach pumped and Krang took over. Because if you look at the image there, where Bebop says, dude, you should get that stomach thing looked at. His face kind of reminds me of the Iron Giant.
Man, I love that version of Bebop.
Yep, so cool. So Rocksteady and Rocksteady, which is just weird to say, they end up some
World War One.
World War One,
Yep.
yeah.
Biplanes
Which is...
and French. So they're back here screwing up the timeline willy-nilly.
Mm-hmm. And I love how the coolest thing about the way this story is now progressing in this penultimate issue here is that we come to realize that Bebop and Rocksteady together, they're better together than they are better with themselves. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds so wrong in so many ways, because I was going to say that no, I can't. Oh, God, I can't even do it. I just can't say that, folks. I'm sorry. Oh, frag. They're better playing together than they are playing with themselves. There, I said it. Are you happy now? Okay, so, Rocksteady, because the mutated Rocksteady is the future version of the non-mutated, it's just all these character conflicts, because the mutated one's gone through more than the unmutated one, and oh boy, it's just so crazy. I love the art on non-mutated Bebop in this bar, where he
giant mohawk.
Yeah. I pity the fool that doesn't like Bebop in this comic. So the two Bebops end up having issues with one of them saying what the other one was going to say.
And they start having a falling out. Meanwhile, these like military police Utroms are showing up saying, we have an unlicensed time device coming from you. We need to have a talk. And Bebop are having nothing of it and more distracted by themselves until they decide to fight it out and run away. As they leave the bar, we come to what has to be a very odd, strange-looking Earth, since, it's not a space and time device. Is it? Well, maybe it is a space and time device, but
I like to think it's just a time device.
I'm gonna assume this is Earth. At least 4 technodromes are hanging out outside this little cantina that they were in, and they're running for the car, which I still think is great because it's the car from the toy line, the one that the foot soldiers ride in the video game.
Yeah, the foot cruiser. Yeah. You know what I like to think now that I see the technodromes here? I like to think the one in the very center, when non-mutated Bebop says, yeah, no, duh. I like to think that's the bar they're running out of. Like, can you imagine the technodrome as a bar?
It's just a novelty shape.
Yeah.
Like Disneyland's, they're everywhere. Well, there are green rays shooting out of all those eyes. I wonder if they're terraforming. I don't know. They might be doing something, but so they make a run for the car, and the Utroms are chasing them down the street. Yeah, and then we leave them there at the car scene and head back to World War One Bebop, or Rocksteady and Rocksteady.
Rocksteady. See, I love seeing mutated Rocksteady with guns in his hands. I just love, like, even as corny as it is, I'm gonna make you eat that camera, and they've got the really weird futuristic Dimension X guns in the first 5 episodes of the old 87. I just love seeing Rocksteady with guns, and with him holding guns, because it's just cool.
So I think they're in a foxhole with Germans at this point. They were getting shot at by French before, so now they're in the Germans, and the Germans are freaking out as to what this big giant guy is doing in there.
Yep. And Rocksteady end up having a fight, and basically, one of the, is it mutated Rocksteady? This is nothing. Oh yeah, mutated Rocksteady is saying that Bebop is is our best friend. Did you ever apologize to him for something? And next thing you know, mutated Rocksteady. Because the second one shows up. Whoa. Oh, time travel hurts my head. Ow.
Well, before that, their foxhole got bombed by something, and it looks like human Rocksteady is dying, or going to die.
Right.
And that's when, another...
The second mutated Rocksteady shows up.
asks about rock dudes from the mutagen store, which we have no idea what's going on with that.
Well, that was the last issue. That was the rock soldiers that came into the stock. So, because they call StockGen the mutagen store.
Okay.
So our Rocksteady is basically saying, I gotta get out of here and find Bebop, that jerk. We go back to Bebop and Bebop.
This is probably my favorite part in the comic. They
Is it really?
hey, we need to get away from these guys. Why don't you just use your time wand again? Okay, and he starts to open it up, and he opens a portal, and the car starts to enter it, but immediately behind them another portal is opening, and the car's coming out of it, and Bebop ends up accidentally crashing into himself or opening the portals close enough that so they wipe themselves out. And again, I think that's the best moment.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But now here in the future, human Bebop dies because they're just totally oblivious and carefree and screw up. But now Bebop is, just as Rocksteady is now, they're now looking for each other.
It's now a mutant hunt for each other. They gotta, find their best friends and all that. So,
and I like to imagine, I don't know if there's an indication in there, but I like to imagine that they've been hopping through time like crazy between when we left them last issue and then this point where they both die. But StockGen Labs 2012 again.
Yep. So we get more of this. We get Bebop and Rocksteady mutated into I don't even know. A rhino hog, a wart,
a giant amalgamated mess. But right as they warp back to right as they were going to leave the first time we left them here, and as they're opening the portal, Bebop and Rocksteady from wherever they were coming from come in and knock them away from opening the portal and knock them into a big vat of mutagen. So they're getting wrecked. Yeah, there's 3 Bebops here.
Like I've said throughout our entire 5 episodes, well, it will be 5 episodes, but our 4-episode journey so far, IDW, you make my head hurt so bad with the time travel. And anybody just listen to Doc Brown? Can't anybody just take Emmett L. Brown's advice and just, not create so many times? I mean, this is fun. I'm having fun reading this, but trying to figure it out and trying to explain it in a way to the audience that is listening to this, it hurts my head so much. And I know people are probably tired of me saying that.
Thankfully, I don't think we're meant to exactly understand what happens, because as they're marveling at the warthog rhino mess that's torturously mutated, they're opening portals. And we can just kind of go through this part quick, I think. Florence, Italy, 1490. Whoa, monsters! And then it's Slash and Bebop are there.
Yep.
Where do they go now? Oh, one of the other fruit
I love the question mark on Slash. I love the question mark on Slash. That's awesome.
And the interesting thing that's happening here, a portal opens and another set of 2 Rocksteadies and 4 Bebops fall out of it. Each one of those Rocksteadies and Bebops is looking different. One of them is wearing a Japanese helmet. One has a full beard and goatee. Space Center, Florida, 1969. They pop out and are tearing up the Apollo. What are they called?
Apollo.
The Apollo mission. And we see some time tunnel action where there's more than a few of them following around back there. Ancient. No. What is this? This is the future, distant future, where Bebop and Rocksteady are gods. Evil mutant thing falls out of it. 1 million BC, crashes on mammoths. 2012, they're back again, but oh no. Oh yeah, where'd they pop out?
Okay, so StockGen Labs 2012 again, sort of. At this point, does it even matter exactly when and where?
This got disturbing right here. They fall into what looks like, I don't know if you've seen District 13, 19 District, yeah, District 13. The shanty town things pop together, and as Bebop falls out of here, there's all of these other Rocksteadies and Bebops who are pulling their heads out the windows, looking at them. They're all kind of strangely deformed. It's fascinating to think about where these guys came from. I mean, it just bends your mind.
Yes, it does.
And then the caption expresses your feeling here. At this point, it doesn't even matter exactly when and where.
Yeah, I mean, I just have to take a breath, folks. I'm sorry, because, like, I knew this series, I knew the time travel aspect was going to come into a huge play, obviously, because they're screwing with time, but because they're screwing with time, the story to me doesn't run as fluid as I thought it would, because they are so screwing up with time and messing with time just because they're trying to find each other. And that last page is like, Roxy's like, this sucks, I'll never find him. And then we go to the last page where you have all the time tunnels and everything else, Bebop, Rocksteady, and this is the last page of the book where it says, outside of time, in the 79th dimension, guys, this is like a total time-traveling worst-case scenario. They're destroying all of time. Bogus. To be concluded next week.
This, again, I think if you'd have asked me to write this, this is where I would have come. If you gave the title Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything, this is exactly what would happen, and this is what I was going to say at the beginning. I'm thankful that we finally got a time travel story that's more like what would happen if anybody tried time traveling. I have to believe that it would not be as clean as it is in Star Trek or in Doctor Who. This is what happens when you go back in the past and sneeze wrong, or step on a butterfly, or go back and meet yourself and influence your own future. So,
or attempt to use Gray's Sports Almanac.
Yes. This is not the pretty Back to the Future scenario of going back and making sure your parents got together. This is everything you do is going to screw something up, because there's no you will. I mean, you can't go back there and occupy a volume without drastically affecting the future. And so they indeed have destroyed everything. And I kind of expected this to happen, especially in the beginning when they first experimented and decided, I'm just going to go that way. And there was no thought to all the rules that we sci-fi geeks know about time travel. Like, you don't go back and meet yourself. You don't go back and kill anything. Like, Bebop and Rocksteady don't have the intelligence to monitor themselves in that sci-fi way. They're just going back being ignorant. And this is what's happened. And I like watching this happen for a change. I would love to watch this played out in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah. Oh, that would be... My head hurt a lot. I mean, I get it. That's what time travel is supposed to be and all that. But, and I do like this issue. I just don't think, for me, it's as emotionally charged as issue 3 was, because of all the shit that they screw up, whether it's intentional or not. I mean, issue 3, really, the end of issue 3 kind of rocked me to the core, even though Bebop wasn't trying, to do that specifically to Splinter, but, like, at this point, that's what I wanted to see. I love seeing them go through time. I love seeing all the various ways that they're interacting with the time periods that they travel to. I think that's great. I'm not saying this is a bad issue. I'm just saying that it wasn't at all what I expected it to be.
Yeah, the changes they don't have a lot of emotional weight, and it's interesting to hear you say that the Bebop stepping on Splinter was like an emotional moment for you, because I already saw it going south before that even happened, insofar as whatever was happening at that moment in that issue was not going to play out in any way, because they had already screwed with things before and after, right. And the Turtles were still there at that moment, so Splinter, I mean, it was inconsequential that it happened. It was just like, oops, yikes, it happened. Yeah. In the same way that unmutated Bebop and Rocksteady died this issue. Yeah, it's not like all the Bebops disappeared, all the mutated Bebops and all the mutated Rocksteadies immediately disappeared.
Right. But I think for me, the reason, because like I said, it's been, at this point for us, it's been years since we've looked at the original runs, the beginning of the series. So going back there and seeing things unfold differently and realizing that, yes, it was unintentional that Bebop stepped on, he didn't, say, ooh, this is the tiny rat that's going to become the giant rat that's going to, I understand Bebop's, and he had no intention. It was an accident. I get that. But just the fact that they wrote that in there, and that could or could not potentially change the future if it does, like, that to me at the moment when I was reading it was really shocking. So, what would you give issue number 4 on a scale of 0 to 5?
Oh, I like leaving my 5s for issues where I cry, so let's give this a nice solid 4.5.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.5. It's not that I'm giving it that score because I didn't like the issue. I'm giving it that score because Dustin and Ben gave me an immense headache with the time travel. I love seeing the aspect of going to the different times, but the whole portal's this, portal that, portal this, portal that, and and I agree with you, laughing at the Bebop thing with the car. That was hilarious, that poor foot cruiser. But I love the art. The art's great. I didn't really, now looking back at it, when I first read it, I didn't really notice the constant art changes per time period. But I like that they did that because it's not something like, I could see if this was just going to be an issue where Bebop was in 2111, let's say, and Rocksteady was going to be in 1885 or whatever. I could see two different art styles that way, but because there's so many, I think what it did was it gave enough of a difference, but still kept various things true to each of the characters, and it also gave a lot of artists a lot of work. So, absolutely love that. So like I said, 3.5. I don't even know what to expect out of number 5.
Yeah,
no clue.
With this issue, we got a lot from Bebop and Rocksteady, which was nice because you had talked about wanting to hear more from them. So this was almost an entire issue based with them getting to interact with each other. But I think next issue we're gonna turn back to the Turtles and Renette, and they're gonna fix it. It's gonna some magical retcon event. They're gonna fix things. The interesting thing will be how do they fix it without removing Bebop and Rocksteady from the timeline entirely. They're gonna have to go back to even then there's probably in all their jumping around they gave a time scepter to themselves to their younger selves before they actually received it. So even that's jerked around. They'll fix it. It'll be the turtle-centric issue.
Yep, it will be. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break, come back with the latest solicits and all that stuff after this.
We brought the entire convention center to the brink of an inter-genre geek war.
Okay, Michael, if we're going to tackle this podcast thing, we've got to do something really special. It has to be cool, daily, in audio form, and undetectable by radar. Something that screams summer. I know, let's do a Phineas and Ferb review podcast. We'll call it the Podcast Organization Without a Cool Acronym, or POWCA for short. What do you think?
I think if we're not careful, Candace is going to bust us.
You can find POWCA on the GEEK-STUFF Radio Network, iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, and all of the other methods you find podcasts.
We'll give you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
All right, folks, we are back, and next week is our final week with Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything number 5, written by Ben Bates, Dustin Weaver. Art on this one is going to be done by Ryan Brown. Colors by Nick Patera. Time has been irreparably damaged, and the fabric of reality is torn apart. Only a trip to visit the Time Lords in the 79th dimension holds any hope But is time traveler Renette still alive? Are the turtles? Is anyone? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so 79th Dimension, Time Lords, did they watch Legends of Tomorrow? Because that's kind of what... Anyway. So, folks, coming up here in, I believe it's August. Yeah, these are the August 2016 solicits for TMNT. TMNT number 61, Chasing Phantoms Part 1, the all-new story arc. So we have Tom Waltz, Kevin Eastman on writing. We have Dave Wachter on art and colors. Chasing Phantoms Part 1. While the Turtles and Splinter are still reeling from the events of TMNT number 60, they come under attack by the Street Phantoms. Will Splinter let this challenge to his rule stand? Bullet points include, plus the secret love life of Harold. No, thank you. Variant cover by Carlos Dianda. TMNT, the IDW Collection Volume 3. Kevin Eastman, Tom Waltz, Jason Ciaramella, Brian Lynch, Eric Burnham, Mike Costa, Ben Epstein, Dustin Weaver, Paul Aller on writing, Kevin Eastman, Mateus Santaluco, Dave Wachter, Sophie Campbell, Corey Smith, Mike Henderson, Ben Bates, Dan Duncan on art. Violence and carnage rage across the city as Shredder's master plan unfolds when tragedy strikes the Turtles. The brothers will have to hold the line against an attack from within, but with allegiances shifting, they must formulate a plan to fight back against their deadliest enemy. Volume 3 collects issues 21 to 28 of the TMNT ongoing series, and the Old Hob, Alopex, Karai, Hun, Bebop and Rocksteady, and Shredder micro series one-shots, plus the 2012 annual. And that is hardcover. It's 428 pages, and it is $50.
And it's beautiful.
Yes, it is. They're also offering, again, for the same price of $50 each, Collection 1 and Collection 2. So we've got TMNT Universe, number 1. I think we did already talk about this, because I remember this now. Paul Allor, Kevin Eastman, Tom Waltz on writing, Damian Cicero, Kevin Eastman, Bill Sienkiewicz on art, Freddie Williams on covers or colors. Introducing a new era in TMNT, this series will explore characters and storylines that are pivotal to the IDW TMNT universe. When a mysterious new mutant targets Baxter Stockman, it will be up to the TMNT to reluctantly save him. Little does everyone know that a larger trap is being laid by a new arch-foe, plus a backup story from TMNT co-creator Kevin Eastman and comics legend Bill Sienkiewicz. So that's coming out here soon. Is there bullet points on that one? Yeah, so because you demanded it, an all-new ongoing series set in the IDW TMNT universe, incredible talent bringing their unique style to the Turtles, a must-read for any TMNT fan. Variant covers by Damian Cicero and Kevin Eastman. So the September solicits. We have issue 62 of the ongoing, Chasing Phantoms Part 2. Same writing and art team, as I mentioned before, Dave Wachter on art and colors. One ally close to the Turtles faces grave danger, while another makes a choice that will alter his life forever. Meanwhile, the Turtles wonder if their path truly lies with the Foot Clan. The bullet points for this one, danger lurks everywhere. Yeah, that's not really revealing anything. Thanks, guys. Also coming in September, because they did this so fast, we almost should have just waited till September to do this, but TMNT, Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything. The trade paperback is coming in September. That was fast.
That's already
the other one coming in September that we're going to talk about is TMNT Universe. Paul Allor, Kevin Eastman, Tom Waltz on writing, Damian Cicero, Kevin Eastman, Bill Sienkiewicz on art. The Turtles are trapped and surrounded by the government. With them, one of their least favorite people in the world, Baxter Stockman. Will the unlikely allies find a way to work together and live to fight another day? Dun, dun, dun. New TMNT ongoing is off and running. Variant cover by Antonio Fuso, and obviously Eastman and Sienkiewicz's backup story continues. folks, it's just great right now to be a TMNT fan. It really is. You know, you got Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything. You got the ongoing, starting a new arc here soon. You've got TMNT Universe starting in August, which is going to be just amazing. What are your thoughts on some of the stuff coming up?
It's going to be expensive. That's all I can really look at now. I decided today with as many goofy covers that hook together and beautiful subcovers that I will probably be buying one of each cover from here on out. I won't do retailer incentives, mostly because my store doesn't get them.
Covers, or the subscription covers don't cost anything additional.
No, well, none of them should if you buy them the first day. If your store charges you for retailer incentive covers more than cover price, you need to turn them in.
Yeah,
they can mark them up second week, but they can't mark them up first week.
Yeah. I will say the covers for issue 62, the main cover is Casey. I gotta go look at that again. That's one of the best Casey covers ever.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the retail, I think it's a retail incentive. I can't. Yeah, it's the RI cover. Is basically all of them in fighting stance. That's pretty cool. TMNT Universe number 2 looks badass. I think I like the retail incentive. I think I like the retail incentive one better though.
Which issue?
Issue 2 for Universe.
Okay.
Oh no, I know. No. I like the main cover for TMNT Universe number 2. Sub cover is okay. It was gonna be my favorite until I saw the final one. The subscription cover for that one is a giant Raphael.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that as a poster on my wall. Like, I want that 11 by 17 something. Oh my god, that's epic.
I wonder how much I would pay for a coffee table book of all the covers.
Didn't they release at some point like all of Kevin's?
I have that.
A while ago, like this giant book with all of Kevin's covers in it.
It's maybe 40 pages, maybe.
Yeah.
It's the thickness of one of the
trades.
No, not even the annuals. It's got a slightly stiffer cover. It's maybe an eighth of an inch thick.
All right, folks, after next week for Destroy Everything number 5, I do know that Joe and I are going to be doing issues 59 and 60 for July at some point, probably closer to the end of the month. And we will be doing in August TMNT Universe number 1. But after that, we may take a break from Turtles for just a little bit. Wait till the main ongoing storyline kind of gets a little further, because I don't know how I haven't asked Bobby, I haven't asked anybody how long the Phantom storyline is gonna take. I don't know if it's 2 issues, 3 issues, I don't know. So you're gonna get Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything number 5. You're gonna get an episode for issues 59 and 60, and then we're gonna do Universe number 1, and then we might take a little break after that on Turtles, because 5 weeks of Turtles. I love it, but oh my god. Oh, I'm so tired.
I need a nap.
Yeah, pretty much. Make your greatest escape into comics. I have no idea what's coming up next inside the pull bag. It could be I Hate Fairyland. It could be Batman Beyond. It could be Code Red from Xenoscope. No clue. Honestly, I have no idea. So, yeah, make your greatest escape into comics, and we will catch you next time.
Woot.
Woot.
Oh, we was just starting to have fun.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pullback, the GCRN's comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, GeekCastRadio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you were leaving the message for, and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Send us an email feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at GeekCastRadio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.